Jews do tend to sacrifice for each other and help each other out. And the Jewish state is run for the well-being of its citizens. And there is a tremendous amount of generosity extended largely to members of your fellow in-group, to fellow Jews.
Uh,
Israel benefits from accurate criticism just as much as the United States or Jews do in general, or Christians or Muslim, right? We all benefit from seeing how other people see us and from getting feedback and from getting criticism. And then we have to exercise our own judgment about what's accurate criticism, what's not accurate criticism.
Israel, a parasitic, psychopathic nation.
Okay, is Israel a parasitic, psychopathic nation? So I wish that the United States did not give aid to Israel. I would prefer Israel to just stand on its own 2 feet and to pay for everything. But the amount of aid that the United States gives Israel is only a very tiny portion of the Israeli economy. So I don't think that you can say that Israel is parasitic. It's far more productive than any other nation state around it, right? What other nation state around Israel is making as many innovations technologically, scientifically, in medicine, in culture compared to Israel, right? No surrounding nation comes close. So no, Israel does not live in Section 8 housing because Israel overwhelmingly established itself and has overwhelmingly paid its own way and secured its own borders.
Israel lives in Section 8 housing in Palestine and survives on welfare checks and military aid from America.
It doesn't survive. If Israel went without those $4 billion of American aid, Israel would still survive. Israel would be just fine. In fact, I think Israel would be far better off.
They've been a blight on the neighborhood since day one.
Okay, so if Israel's been a blight, who are the shining lights in the neighborhood? Would you say it's Egypt? Would you say it's Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq? I mean, where are the shining lights of civilization, freedom, progress, prosperity? Who's innovating? Who's coming up with breakthroughs? Who is making the world a better place through scientific, medical, technological, entrepreneurial breakthroughs? Who's publishing valuable books? Who's doing important research? I don't know on what scale, on what standard you would say that Israel is way behind its neighbors.
Have done little to ingratiate themselves to the neighbors.
Well, when the neighbors repeatedly try to wipe you out, what kind of sick party would then be intent on ingratiating themselves with those who are trying to wipe them out? Now, Egypt has stopped trying to wipe out Israel, but overall, the Egyptian people absolutely hate Israel. Right? The Egyptian government has met the terms of the agreement that are reached with Israel and the United States, but it's not doing anything to have better relations with Israel. It just does the bare minimum to continue to get American subsidies.
In the region, Israel epitomizes the loser, the scum.
Okay, so on what basis is Israel the loser in the Middle East? It has the strongest military in the Middle East, has the most innovative economy, it creates the most breakthroughs, it publishes the most innovative research. I mean, on what scale is Israel a loser compared to Egypt, Syria, Lebanon, Jordan? Right? How exactly are the surrounding Arab states just winners and Israel's a loser?
Scumbag who claims all of his ex-girlfriends, all of his neighbors are shitheads, not him. They claim it's
so if you think the view that the nations surrounding Israel are a bad neighborhood, all right, you'd have to argue on what basis do you say they're a bad neighborhood. And the nation states surrounding Israel are incredibly backward, right? They don't give much to the world, right? They don't produce anything. They don't make many breakthroughs, right? They're incredibly primitive and savage nations. So, yeah, I think it's fair to say, on the basis of my hero system and on the basis of a European hero system, that Israel lives in a bad neighborhood. It is surrounded by savage, primitive, low achieving nations.
It's a bad neighborhood with bad neighbors. But you're the dumbass newcomer who chose to live in the neighborhood. They didn't change the neighborhood out when you showed up. The neighbors were already there. Israel was offered Section 8 housing elsewhere too. Then to add insult to injury.
So Israel chose, the people Israel chose to return to their historical homeland. And it's a historical homeland that is in a bad neighborhood. So you could give up on your historical ties to a country, but I don't see why Israel should be blamed for not giving up on its historical ties to a particular land.
Those scumbags chose to practice apartheid and treat Palestinians as the other. Here's a novel idea.
Okay, so which nation states treat non-citizens exactly the same as citizens?